Back in my bedroom in West Hollywood. It's Friday, Fearless Fridays, kind of give an update on what's going on. So if you listened to the episode this week, I had the editor-in-chief Annie Networks on, so that was a really good episode of This Is Life Unfiltered. I linked it below. I'm gearing up to go skydiving on July 1st, and I think I've already scared myself out of it. Like, I'm already traumatized by the idea of it, but I'm going with one of my friends who I said I would give it to her as a birthday present, and she's all for the idea. So we're gonna go July 1st. Well, I talked about why I moved here, but not really given an update of why I'm staying here. I had initially moved to LA last September, and I came with my best friend, and it was really just to try it out. I've lived in Boston. You guys know I moved out when I was 17, so I moved right to New York. I lived in Brooklyn, then I lived in the financial district. Then I moved to Boston for 2 years. Then I had like 3 different apartments in Boston. The first one was in Cambridge with a roommate. The second one was in the north end of Boston with 5 different girl roommates. That was awful. And then the last apartment I had that I lived in for about a year and a half was a 1-bedroom on Salem Street, which is my love. If you know Boston, that is like the best street in the world in the north end. So I came to LA after having lived the high life. I mean, I was paying a lot of money for rent, and it was really worth it to me. Like, at that point in building my business, I really needed like to focus in and have my own space, and I had it all designed, and the apartment made the Boston Globe, and it was just phenomenal. And then I moved to LA, and I was supposed to stay here for 3 months, and then I left in December, and I wasn't 100% sure I wanted to come back. Initially, when I moved here, I didn't like it, and I would say that I still don't love LA. There's something about it to me that's, it's just very fake. It's not a place that I find to be very inviting. Like, when I lived in New York or even in Boston, I could dress in this. I'm like in leggings and a sweatshirt that I got for $5 from Marshall's and walk down the street, and it's totally fine. Here, it's like, you cannot wear this. You will be told not to wear this. I have had people, or even people who I like vaguely know, be like, what are you wearing? And I'm like, I just don't know how to dress. I used to be a fashion blogger when I was 15, but now I just don't care. I just really like to be comfortable. Unless I'm going out or unless it's for an event, I'll get somebody to style me. So yeah, so that's basically that. So that's what I don't really love about it. But I stayed here for that 3 months, and then I left, and then ended up, during the time I was here, people keep asking me how I ended up getting a manager, and I have a phenomenal management team, and they actually scouted me on a TV segment. So I did a segment on KTLA back in November. I did one in September. I did one in like October and November. And after one of the segments, I got a phone call from a blocked number, and it was this huge manager, and it was this really, really, really crazy time in my life. And then I'm about to obviously announce something. If you follow me on social media, you'll know. And that's when I started going in talks with this particular company too, that I had approached with an idea, because every little thing in life starts with an idea. And then I left in December and was supposed to come back with my best friend in January 18th. I flew back, and I was gonna move in with him, and we were gonna get a 1-bedroom, and I was really excited. And anywho, 3 days before he was supposed to come back, he canceled on me. That sucked. So I had about 24 hours to find somewhere to live. I went and viewed 3 places and ended up finding a place in West Hollywood that I don't really like, but I am very picky about apartments. So my goal, I was gonna leave for the summer and travel. Really excited for it. Now I've just been told, I believe I'm gonna be stuck here. Not stuck here, but I'm gonna be here for the entire summer. And come September, probably in LA full-time, minus like 1 day a week if I travel somewhere. Which is really interesting to me because I travel all the time. That's like what I love to do. And that can be one of the most fun parts of my job. So now I'm gonna have to train myself to just stay put and breathe and like be here. So I was gonna leave and then come back, and now I'm gonna move in with one of my friends who's moving out here in September, which is great. So we're looking for an apartment right now. We're gonna get a 2-bedroom. But yeah, that's basically it. I would say if you're trying to move out, or you want to like take the first step and leave your dorm, or you want to get your own first apartment, I would just say do it. Craigslist, Gypsy Housing, as long as you're safe about it and really responsible, have really great options. And for me, just living alone and like living out of my parents' house gives me so much creative freedom, gives me so much personal freedom. You just have to find the right place to live. And for me, I tried I tried Boston, I tried New York. If I could, I would end up back in probably Boston. I'd like to have a place by like the end of next year in Boston and New York, because I go a decent amount between both of them and they're both my favorite cities. But at the end of the day, Boston is the kind of place where I felt I was just getting stuck. Like I was waking up every day, I was doing the same thing. I had the same schedule, and if you know me, then you know that I like to constantly be getting out of my comfort zone. And in Boston, it was like there was only 5 coffee shops in my vicinity of 1 mile I could try out. In LA, in New York, there's so many. You're always doing something different. There's always a new city to go to, or a new borough, or whatever. So my next goal is to buy a car and find a really good apartment that I'm really happy in, because your the first goal, I think, is to have an apartment that makes you really happy. That's your safe space. That's the place that you really enjoy going to. And I work a lot from my apartment. And also get an office space at some point too, because I had a WeWork, but now I'm finding that there's apparently other places in LA that are a lot cheaper. So co-working spaces can also be really great too. You'll meet a ton of people, or just coffee shops. I was at a coffee shop yesterday and somebody came up to me and started talking to me. So you can find totally different places too. But on the topic of apartments, because I had lived in such a happy apartment for like a year and a half, coming here was a little bit of a different experience now, because I'm not living in the place that I was. That was like my safe spot. But then again, that goes to getting out of your comfort zone and doing something that scares you, which for me was moving in to a city I don't really know a lot of people in. And I've been meeting people too, which is good. Like I've been meeting more people than I thought I would be meeting, which is really awesome. But LA is a really difficult place to meet people, and everybody's in the entertainment industry. Everybody wants to know who you are. Everybody wants to know how many followers you are. And that to me is just really superficial. So I think if you can learn to rise above that and not judge yourself, or like judge other people based on who they are, because you never know what somebody's wearing is based on what they got given as a gift, or something somebody gave them, or somebody that they know. So just because people here like dress and stuff really well doesn't mean that you necessarily have to like be that way. You can just be the best version of yourself. That's what I've learned. I'm like, I'll wear this to my fancy boutique gym classes and I just really don't care. And I don't go around saying I'm wearing a $5 Marshalls sweater. But if somebody asked, I think it was $8 actually, I would tell them, because I just don't care. So that's my advice for this Fearless Fridays. If you're looking to get out of your comfort zone, looking to move and go to a city, just try it out. Start with 3 months, start with 6 months, don't sign a lease. Try and see if you can get a friend to go with you, because that's always really great. And then after like 3 months, you have an idea, or even 6 months, I find you have an idea of whether you want to stay. And then if your friend cancels, you'll know by then, or hopefully you've met some other people. But you just have to be really willing to like get out of your comfort zone, meet people, go out, go on meetup.com, or ask friends of yours who maybe used to live here what to do. And that I think will really help you kind of build your own community, because once you build your community, then you'll be really happy and probably feel like you're in a really safe space. So that's my Fearless Fridays this week. Hopefully gonna be announcing this awesome news that I have by June 22nd, so stay tuned for that, and check out all of the This Is Life Unfiltered episodes that are also linked below, because we've got some great people coming up and I've been interviewing some really cool people, and I just think everybody has such an awesome and interesting story to tell. So I will see you next week.